The Jazzman'S Call. New Orleans, 2010. Its streets alive with the thrum of jazz spilling from open-door bars. Neon signs buzzed, casting kaleidoscope shadows on cobblestones slick with spilled drinks and humidity. It was past midnight, and the air carried the scent of bourbon and something sharper, something metallic, like blood. Clara, a street musician with a voice like honey and ash, packed up her guitar on a quiet corner. Her gig had been a bust. The tourists preferred the louder bands on Bourbon Street. Survivors few as they were spoke of his voice, smooth and seductive, promising fame. But his eyes, hidden in the dark, were cold, like the glint of an axe before it falls. The tap came again, closer, rhythmic, like a metronome counting her heartbeats. In one hand, he held a clarinet, its keys glinting like teeth. In the other, an axe, its blade etched with strange, spiraling symbols. His presence was magnetic, promising everything she'd ever wanted. She took another step, her guitar case slipping from her shoulder. "What do you want?" she whispered. "You sing like you're meant for more," he said, his voice curling around her like smoke. "I can make you a legend." She was tied to a piano bench, her wrists bound with guitar strings that cut into her skin. The room was lit by a chandelier, its crystals dimmed by dust, casting fractured light across the floor. The jazzman stood before her, his axe resting on a table littered with sheet music. The clarinet lay beside it, its keys stained with something dark. He moved, faster than should have been possible, the axe arcing through the air. He preys on those who ignore their instincts, who chase dreams over truth. His victims become legend songs, stories, art, but they're no longer themselves. Their souls are stitched into the city's rhythm, forever bound to his melody. Clara screamed, but the sound blended with the clarinet's wail, swallowed by the night. Ignore it, and you might hear the jazzman's call, feel the weight of his axe. And when you do, it's too late to run. If you're in New Orleans and hear a clarinet in the dark, playing a tune that knows your name, turn back. Trust your heart, or it'll be carved out, note by note, into a song you'll never sing again. "Please," she begged. "I'll listen now. I'll change." Pain seared her side, not from a cut, but from something deeper, as if her very essence was being sliced away. "It's too late for lessons," he said, "but your song will live on." He began to carve, not her flesh, but something intangible, her dreams. Each swing of the axe drew a note from her lips, a melody of pain and beauty that echoed through the mansion. The symbols on the blade glowed, absorbing her voice, her essence, weaving them into the city's endless song. Blood dripped, but it didn't pool, it spiraled upward, forming patterns in the air. The next night, a new song played in the quarters bars, haunting and perfect, credited to an unknown artist. It climbed the charts, a viral sensation, but no one knew its source. The jazzman had kept his promise. She was eternal, but at a cost. Against every instinct, she followed the sound, drawn to a courtyard, hidden behind a rusted gate. Spanish moss dripped from ancient oaks, and a single gas lamp flickered. He picked up the axe, tracing its edge with a gloved finger. "I free those who stray from their truth. You could have been more, Clara, but you didn't listen." And always, there was the Musia clarinet's wail, leading you deeper into the night. Tired and broke, she slung her case over her shoulder and headed home through the labyrinth of alleys. She'd laughed, called them ghost tailies, for tourists. But now, in the alley, the clarinet's melody returned, slow and hypnotic. It pulled at her, tugging at dreams she'd buried. A record deal, a stage of her own. She shook her head, trying to clear it, but the music burrowed deeper, whispering her name. She asked, stepping closer. Clara knew the quarter's dangerous pickpockets, drunks, the occasional creep butt. She trusted her instincts. She'd grown up here, learned to read the city's rhythm. Tonight, though, the rhythm was off. The air felt heavy, as if the notes of every saxophone were sinking into a minor key. She ignored the prickle on her neck, chalking it up to exhaustion. "I'm the one who hears your soul," he said. "The one who carves it free." He raised the clarinet, playing a single note that vibrated through her bones. The axe gleamed, its edge catching the lamp's light. But then she heard it, a faint melody. Not jazz, but something older. It drifted from the shadows, curling around her like a lover's whisper. She stopped, scanning the alley. The music stopped too, replaced by a soft tap, like a blade kissing wood. She called, her voice swallowed by the humid air. No answer, just the tap, steady and deliberate, echoing from somewhere too close. Clara's gut screamed at her to run, but curiosity held her. She'd always been too stubborn to listen to fear. That was her first mistake. The disappearances had started in the spring, though the news barely touched them. Musicians, dancers, artists. No bodies, no leads, just abandoned instruments and empty stages. The police blamed the city's underbelly, drugs, gangs, or runaways. But the locals whispered of something else, a figure who haunted the quarter's darkest corners. Cloaked in a long coat, his face hidden by a wide-brimmed hat. They called him the Jazzman, not for his music, but for the way he seemed to move with the city's pulse, as if he were its shadow. He didn't just kill, he chose. Those who ignored their instincts, who chased the wrong note, were his prey. Clara had heard the stories over beers at the old absinthe house. "Clara," a voice said, low and velvet, like a song sung just for her. She spun around, but the alley was empty. He stood there, under the lamp. Tall, lean, his coat black as midnight, his hat tilted to hide his face. She should have run her. Gut screamed it, but his words hooked her. He tilted his head, and though she couldn't see his eyes, she felt them piercing, hungry. Clara's instincts roared one last time. Run. Now. But the music held her, drowning out reason. "To make you eternal," he said. Clara woke in a crumbling mansion, its walls draped in velvet and decay. "You ignored your heart," he said, his voice almost tender. "That's why you're here." She struggled, the strings biting deeper. He shook his head, his hat still hiding his face. When he finished, Clara was gone, but her voice lingered. "The Jazzman still haunts New Orleans." He walks the quarter's alleys, his clarinet's wail blending with the city's jazz. Listen to your gut. That prickle on your neck, that whisper of doubts, your truth speaking.